Here are the three things that will happen to you that will negatively affect you, negatively impact your life when you watch too many conspiracy theory videos. Now, of course, it's everywhere. I mean, it's all over the internet. Obviously, with social media that have skyrocketed and is skyrocketing, it's everywhere. There's no lack of it. Now, yes, true enough, there's ample examples of when the conspiracy theories were correct. So this is not a video about whether it's correct or not. This is a video about what happens to you specifically, how it impacts you specifically, how it limits you specifically when you watch too many conspiracy theory videos. Whether this is about whether celebrities are real people or they've all been cloned, or, how everybody's limiting other people. It doesn't really matter what it is. I'm a big fan of being in the know of what's going on. A very big fan. I'm really curious. But this is what happens to you based on what I've seen, based on what I've experienced, based on like all the things that I study and whatever, and coach and teach. This is what happens to you when you watch too many conspiracy theories. Three main things. It's kind of like a summary of it all. One, it lowers your vibration. And it lowers your vibration by making you sad, angry, and then it makes you afraid. That's the third thing. It's like a knock-on effect. Now, again, this video is not about whether things that are being said are true or not. All right? This video is about letting you know, number one, it lowers your vibration. It's going to lower your vibration through fear. It's going to let all your unhealed patterns come up. It's going to make you afraid, which will limit you and will keep you in fear. And remember that people that are afraid are incredibly easy to manipulate. When you look at the pandemic, it was mind-blowing to me. I lived in this beautiful area in Cape Town called Sea Point, where, it's a very metropolitan sort of area, and I was under the impression that, people are quite woke here. And there's a lot of old money there and all that sort of stuff. And what was funny is because a vaccination station has been opened, and at some point there were so many doctors and whistleblowers and scientists and people, biologists coming out, speaking about the negative effects of vaccinations. And the more there was that fear, and remember at some point there was a whole agenda trying to separate families from each other, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated ones, there was fear. And it was easy to control those people by fear. The more knowledge people had, the more they had an understanding of what could go wrong. So we start to go into the space of safety in numbers. The people that were vaccinated wanted other people to be vaccinated as well. The people that were not vaccinated became very adamant about why they're not vaccinated, and it became like the vaccinated versus the not vaccinated. Do you know what I'm saying? Where did a lot of that come from? From watching conspiracy theories videos online. Okay. My name is Adrian. I'm a life transformation guide. This is my little Bruno, who's whiny because he wants to go for a walkie, which he will soon. But did you know that the same adverse effects that you can have from using too many drugs, too much alcohol, not enough sleep, watching too much porn, all of those type of things, you can get the same negative impact from watching too many conspiracy theories than from watching or indulging in all these other things. Why? Because you start to feel where you currently are, you are not safe. Life isn't safe. You can't trust the government. You can't trust the economy, the powers that be. Everybody's trying to take you over. AI is going to take over your life. Robots are going to rule you. Where does that fear come from? And in all of this, we forget something fundamentally important. You create your own experience of life. You create your own experience of life. Okay? You create your own experience of life. We forget this. Fear makes you forget that. You forget what you think about, you bring about. This is not a spiritual thing or a holistic thing. It is just the way it works. Everything around you is molecules with electromagnetic impulses running through it. Those magnetic impulses running through it determines what it shows up as. When you come from fear, you emanate fear from who you are into these, molecules that's all around you. And what shows up? Fearful situations. People, situations, energy, circumstances that confirms that you should fear the future, that you don't have any control now, that you are a victim. Do you know what I'm saying to you? It lowers your vibration. You go into the fear vibration. And then we start to manifest what we are afraid of. Because wherever your focus goes, that is where your creation goes. What you think about, you bring about. And when do we typically watch these things? When you are at your most subconscious mind programmable. And whatever happens in the subconscious mind is what you are consciously going to experience in your everyday life. You just wake up in the morning, your mind, when we are awake, like right now, I'm in the beta state, I'm in a wakeful state. But in deep sleep, you're in theta state, and then you're in alpha, where you're still very receptive. That is that space where you realize, oh, I'm going to wake up, or I'm going to go to sleep, or you feel a bit drowsy still. So before you go to bed, when you still sometimes feel drowsy, or you wake up and you still feel drowsy, you're still in the alpha state, not so much in the beta state. That is a very receptive state. We wake up in the morning, we scroll through our phone, we're like, oh, fuck. There we go again. End of all these bad things. Did you know that if you scroll through Instagram, just random scroll, for 30 minutes, you get more mind stimulation than our forefathers would get in their whole lifetime. Our minds are not fully equipped to deal with that yet. Now imagine you already overwhelming your mind, and then you're feeding that overwhelm with fear. Just think about it. Not going to go well. You know what I'm saying? Now you get angry. You're angry at the world, and angry at the neighbor, and angry at that person, and angry at the job you have to go to, and angry at the traffic. Where does this anger come from? Fear. Anger always comes from fear. At the bottom of all anger is always fear. We get angry when we don't get what we want. That's what happens. So when you believe that you are screwed in the future, you are screwed, your family's screwed, your children are screwed, you're going to get trapped in some country, you won't be able to fly, you are actually feeding the creation, the manifestation, the sustaining of what you don't want. Because what you focus on becomes your reality. When other times that we're bored at work, you're in your lunch break, your brain is resting, you're not so attentive. Late at night, you start scrolling through your phone. Screwed. And then you become screwed. And then we become afraid. So now we think about these things. We talk about these things. We say to our friends, oh my goodness, did you see what happened? Did they kill this celebrity? Did they kill this person? Were they about to blow the whistle on fill in the blank? I'm not denying that a lot of these things are happening. But what I'm saying is you want to be mindful of what you give your attention to. There are those out there that are using your attention to their benefit. And anybody who's manipulating your attention doesn't have good intentions. There is a very famous sort of singer. I won't say the name of the singer. But I know a lot of people, especially in the gay community, because I'm gay myself, they see this woman as this goddess, and I will admit that she's very talented. She's a talented singer. She's a talented songwriter. She's a talented actor, all those type of things. But something about this person never sat right comfortably with me. And then I remember this one day, these guys were at my house and they wanted to watch this concert. This concert started. And I said to myself, I'm a hypnotherapist. So this was hypnotherapy programming from beginning to end. And I'm like, people's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I say, yes, I admit it's amazing. But what you are not seeing and not hearing and not aware of through the lighting, through the sequence, through the clothes, through the words, through the set list of the songs, through the dances, it is one big induction. It's one mind programming. So you will see, oh, this person's so amazing. You have been programmed subconsciously to consciously perceive this person as this incredible person. It is mind control if I've ever seen it. Now, a lot of artists do it, but this particular artist, I was like, oh my goodness. Okay? If you want to have a beautiful life and a beautiful future, focus on what you want. Focus on the feeling of what you want. Here's the thing. The world will change. Things will happen. But who you are within yourself will determine how you experience that. Now, I proudly specialize in helping people release their fears and traumas. Because you know what's happening at the moment? People are triggered by the situation. But what is triggered is your unresolved pain, your unresolved fear, the fears that you already have. You know, it's kind of normal to be a bit concerned about the future. When you are constantly spoon-fed that the future is going to be bad, you start to go into a belief that it's not even good to go to the future. Your vibration lowers, you become afraid, scared people. Remember the example that I had with the vaccines? Scared people are incredibly easy to manipulate. The more afraid you are, the more easy it is to manipulate you, because when you are afraid, fear comes from inconsistency in a belief that things are going to be bad. So the moment you've got something to latch onto, and then we latch onto fear. So there's those that already understand there's the limit. There's the gap. So they fill the gap with what is not to your benefit. I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist myself, but think about it like this. With AI, anything is about possible. AI, money, and intention. What if the conspiracy theorists that you follow so vehemently, what if that person themselves have an agenda? You know? I can have so many more followers and subscribers and make so much money if I personally am prepared to manipulate people's fears. But that's not who I am. What I am very passionate about is helping you to understand what is making you have the feeling that you are having towards what is happening. And it will draw you in. I remember not too long ago when there was something going on about this rapper that was involved in all of these things. I caught myself suddenly 3 or 4 hours later, I was still scrolling through videos going like, oh, suddenly being mad, suddenly feeling demotivated, suddenly feeling on a trippy space because of what I've been giving my attention to. Your attention is incredibly important. It is so important. It is the most valuable currency in the world. Attention. Because when you have people's attention, you can control what it is that they feed. You can control how they feel, and then you can use that control, that feeling, to manipulate it for whatever you want. So here's the question. Are you going to be the one that is consciously going to, take control of your own mind? Or are you going to be a sheeple? Are you going to be another person that is just led by the nose by other people's dark intentions? If that's what you want, that's your life, that's your choice. But if you want to not only heal your traumas, move beyond your traumas, and benefit from doing so to embrace your own power to create the life that you want, then my contact details are in the description. Then contact me. I'll be more than honored to support you with that. Think about this. I would love to hear your opinion around this. Okay? In the comment section, let me know. See you next time.